I was born in a little country town in North Queensland, a little place called Bowen. It's where they grow mangoes and tomato. God couldn't have put me in a worse spot because I was surrounded by rednecks. I was creative, artistic, effeminate, and I spent the first 17 years of my life there. And I'm basically, and will be, in recovery for the rest of my life. My first sort of inkling of cinnamon, I would have been about 8, and we'd moved from the garage to a place called Queen's Beach. And my mother this particular night had got wind of my father playing up or something, and she went out to spring him. And I thought, well, while she's out, my mother actually was a dressmaker, and she did alterations for ball gowns and things like that. And I remember there was, in one of the spare rooms, there was like all these ball gowns with lots of tulle on them, you know, like big full skirts. And I thought, well, while she's out, I'll dress up and put on a little show, which I did. But I was in the process of getting dressed, and I was looking at myself in the mirror in her bedroom when she had this big oval mirror. And I was admiring myself and trying to get this costume together. And all of a sudden I heard snap, and it was her face as she parted the Venetian blind. And I took one look at that face, and there's like unbelievable dread washed over my body, and I thought, oh my God, I'm so in for it. When I left Bowen, my first port of call was Brampton Island. And I was only behind the bar for about 3 months, and I used to play the piano and dance and all that sort of thing. And they made me the host entertainer of the island. Like, I was like 17, and hello, I'm the host entertainer of an island. Wow, things were really looking up after that 17 dismal years in Bowen. I had met people in Melbourne that were of like minds, like dressing up and doing shows. And at that particular time we were performing at a little coffee lounge. I mean, we're talking like the size of a railway carriage. And like girls had tried on two or three occasions prior to that, but they were actually like run out of town. But the timing was right, and it was like a huge hit. The first 4 years we were there, it was booked out months ahead, and like every Friday and Saturday night you couldn't move in the place, and it just had a real electricity. Normally I would pick up routines very quickly, but nothing was going in, and it wasn't staying there. And I remember standing on the stage at rehearsals, and I said to myself, what am I doing here? And soon after that I just left Play Girls. Well, what had happened was I lost everything in Melbourne, and I came up here, and I spent probably almost 3 years of dismalness. I met Chris Maver, who's a well-known West End personality. Anyway, within a week or two, he'd like booked me to perform in his upcoming production. I'd never had a rehearsal with a mic. I'd never spoken in a mic, and I'd been a mime artist all my days on stage in Melbourne. And I had to go out there like cold and speak into a mic and tell my life story for the first time in my life. But to my amazement, the moment I walked out there, I knew I had that audience right there in the palm of my hand. You could have heard a pin drop. It was extraordinary. And it was a night I'll never forget, because I thought Cinnamon was dead, buried, gone. But there she was. She hadn't lost it. She was still able to capture that audience. It was fantastic. So, my analysis of that is, you can't keep a good girl down.